Remix. 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 Remix.
Oh, yeah. Yeehaw. Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Thank y'all for tuning in right here, right now. We about to give you that boom bap breakfast. Yes, not me, but us. Let me introduce you to the host with the most, coming straight from the East Coast. She puts it down. You know her by the name of Burn It Down, Kim Brown. This ain't Texas. Woo!
Beyonce was here.
Ain't no hold 'em. Ooh! Lay your cars down.
Beyonce.
Yes.
You go see Beyonce?
Nah, my sister and my cousin, my niece did though. They said it was a hell of a show.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, she was in your town though, Baltimore, Maryland. Which one? DC?
Well, she played Northwest Stadium, formerly known as FedEx Field, which is in Landover, Maryland, in Prince George's County, Maryland.
Okay.
In the shadow of the nation's capital. She performed on 4th of July.
Yeah.
And last night on Monday the 7th.
As Leah Boggs says in her imperialist uniform. It's a lot of black cowboys and cowgirls around here. They got a big ass rodeo here this weekend here in Atlanta.
Listen, but I don't think cowboy culture should be transposed with patriot culture, and it is though. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Like the black cowboys of the old South and the West. You know, I don't think they were patriots per se. They was cowboys. You know what I'm saying? They was riding on the horses, keeping track of the steer, etc. So it's interesting to see cowboy culture transport. I guess that's the Dallas cowboy culture, Dallas cowboy culturification of cowboy culture.
Yeah, pretty much. Dude, that's exactly what you think of when it happens. How was your weekend?
It was splendid.
Okay, I like that. Do tell.
It just, spending time. I love the summertime, Ear Doctor. Like this is my season. I love going outside and
frolicking.
Yeah, go frolic.
I'll let you use that word. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. I enjoy frolicking, stripping through the meadow,
Word. That's how
frolicking goes. But I know you're a man about town. How was your weekend?
Man, that's it. That's all you're gonna tell me. You went outside and you frolicked, and no, went here, went there, seen this person, nothing.
I like to keep my private life private. Thank you so much.
I fucks with that. Well, let me tell you about my life.
Tell me. When you look at your doctor's life and see what he's seen.
Oh, I like that. So I got to go fishing this weekend.
You?
Yeah. In a little.
Where was you fishing out? Lake Lanier? Nigga, you better stay with Lake Lanier.
I don't fuck Lake Lanier. I've been out there one time. I DJ'd on the boat.
Wow. You brave.
Yeah, you ain't lying. I don't think the boat left the shore though. It was like one of them boat parties. You know how black people go to a pool party and don't get in the pool? Yes. It was one of those boat parties where you don't leave the dock.
Well, they knew what time it was. They knew what it was. You better not put this boat on the water. All these souls of these, slain black folks trying to drag folks down into the depths. Yeah. So I'm sorry, you were DJing. No, you weren't DJing. You caught fish.
No, I didn't catch one fish. It was shallow waters where we was at. My homeboy was just showing me the land he got, and we just went over there, checked it out, and threw the fish pole in there. It was cool. Got to go play basketball with my son. We got out there, did our thing. Lost, but we did our thing. So
okay.
Yeah. Little man is about to. He got his. Keep calling him little man. And we had the discussion the other day with him and his mom. He was talking about how she was saying he's an adult. I was like, no, he's not no adult. It's like he's a young man. He is not an adult. The adult has responsibilities and is accountable for their actions. That's what makes an adult.
He's not responsible. Isn't your son a student?
Not yet. Apparently, he would have been if he would have been responsible enough to handle his paperwork like he did the first time. So going back to lack of responsibility and accountability, and he agreed. He's like, yeah. I was like, are you taking care of yourself? You paying a bill? No. He was like, yeah, you're right. I am a young adult. So you know what it is.
And your son is what, 20?
He's a young man, I meant. He's 20. Yeah. So that's the whole thing. I think we fuck up with this European culture by telling these kids that they adults at 18?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
It depends on what you mean by adult per se, but putting yourself in 20-year-old shoes, I'm sure you had way more responsibilities than your son, right?
Well, that's
At
because
20.
my parents passed when I was in my teens. That's the reason I had to grow up quick. I had to be responsible. I had to be accountable. So I had to grow up a little faster. Now with them staying at home and comfortable and everything, they don't know nothing about this outside world. I was just thinking about taking my daughter and her friends on the train and just being like, all right, get from here to here. I'll meet you. Just so
Mhm.
they can have some life fucking skills. This shit is crazy.
Absolutely. They need that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I don't know. I mean, I was living at home at 20 and I had a lot of responsibilities. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
I had a couple jobs, I had a car, I was a full-time student. Like, I had mad responsibilities at 20
mm,
and was on top of them joints. Shout
yeah.
out to 20-year-old me. You know what I'm saying?
So
Like,
I guess you was getting your adult on. So that's good. I think adult is a title. It's not an age. You know what I mean?
maybe.
Maybe you just don't want to agree with me. It's all good. I'm used to it.
Well, you're probably right. I don't want to agree with you. You're probably right about that.
It's good. It's just I know how people are. I'm so used to it, especially on this channel.
Speaking of this channel, why
Yeah.
niggas be leaving me and you out to dry on this channel? Like, why?
Hey, they know we can handle it. They know we hold it
I'm
down.
sorry. I'm starting to feel some kind of way about the shit. To be perfectly honest about you, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, guess what? Came up with next week. We are having our summer break. That's right. We would not see me next week. You're gonna see some reruns. I mean,
rerun.
I ain't talking about the one on what's happening. My thing is, we're gonna have two now a year. It's gonna be the one after Kwanzaa
Mhm.
and next week about that.
It's appropriate because I think our folks need a little bit of respite. You know.
Yeah. But who cares about your mental health if not you? No, please.
Well, if anything, this should be a mental health outlet, right? For everyone that comes on. Like,
Mhm.
this is a place you get to come, let your hair down, talk your shit,
Yeah.
vent, get it off your chest.
Pretty much after all that organizing, yelling at people who do megaphones, teaching classes and all that stuff, they come here in the morning and get to say what they want. That's what this whole show is about, for us to get on here, say what we want, talk about the world and give our perspective. It's that simple. I think we do a decent job of it.
And when it's me and the ear doctor, it's even simpler. So yeah.
You better believe it. You better believe it. We're gonna talk about some things with our perspective. We still gonna talk some news. We'll get
Are
to
we?
it. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Texas. You know what I'm saying? And the floods and what's going on there. Why they don't want to buy sirens and got these kids dying over there. Yeah, we get into all that stuff, man.
Okay. Yep.
You don't know. What were you doing again this weekend? Getting noise.
That also, yes.
Yeah. And I got to go with my homeboy crib. He cooked some food, got that grill popping. You know what I'm saying? We still celebrating Juneteenth while everybody else doing July the 4th.
What y'all over there grilling broccoli? I mean, what y'all grilling?
Well,
Tofu?
not all my friends, eat like I eat. So
I
You know,
got you. But wait, what was you excited about the grill for, sir? They
oh,
threw some portobellos on there for you. What happened?
the veggie burgers, the veggie sausages, and all the sides. The sides, boy. What?
Mm.
So did that, but he got a pool table, so I got to beat him and his dad in pool. So I was very excited because when you go to somebody's house and they own a pool table, you beat both of their ass. You done did something, and they was like, "This nigga." I was like, "Yeah, fucking with a pro."
You are extremely competitive.
I am.
I'm not sure if it's healthy.
What?
I think it's an unhealthy level of competitiveness.
It makes life fun.
You remember when you was in school and y'all would be, going from the classroom, let's say to the gym, and y'all had to walk in line, but then somebody would hop out of line and start walking fast so they could hurry up and be the first one. I'm like, look at Naka.
That wasn't. I ain't do that. I was
try to be the first one to the kickballs. Nigga, it's plenty of kickballs. Relax.
I remember seeing them kids. Now I wasn't that one. I was too busy talking and shit and looking at them, talking about them. But I do compete against time. Time is my biggest competition.
Ooh, you already lost, sir, because time is undefeated, my
Oh
name.
no. I beat time all the time. And I'll try to make sure I get to a place 5 minutes early to 10 minutes early. Wherever I go, I try to, if the GPS says you getting there at this time, oh no, I'm not. I'm getting there before that time.
Oh, excuse me.
I be on the highway whipping, boy. Like, what?
Oh, so again, you're being competition with the GPS, right?
Yeah. Time. And we had a Black Man Lab yesterday. Big up to Black Man Lab. And they was disrespectful to time. So I started turning mics off and everything while they were talking. I was like, time to go. And they was like, I was
but
like,
not everything can be
wrap it up
within the constraints of said time. You understand? Sometimes stuff goes longer. Sometimes stuff starts late. Like, it happens. And I thought you were supposed to be flexible with the energy of the universe, doctor.
Why can we talk about being disciplined and so many other things, but whenever it comes to time, we are not disciplined? Why? Because here comes the excuse. Go ahead.
It's a colonial construct, doctor.
Oh,
you tell me, if you go to the islands, you go to Jamaica, even go to the continent. What time the mashup start every time? What time the bashment start? It starts when it starts. It don't start at midnight.
That's a party.
It might start at 12:45. It might start at 1 a.m. Like, it starts when it starts.
I get that. I don't never come to parties early. I get that. But other shit, come on.
Oh, so there's exceptions.
Parties, yeah. Come on. You never come to a party first. You got to make a grand entrance. That's the rules. If you cool.
I'm just saying, I don't think that's African, by the way. I don't think punctuality is a Black thing. I think that's some shit white folks put on us to make us look unprofessional, uncivilized. The nigga can't even show up on time. It's like, nigga,
we got an LJ site, and in the chat, she don't come on the show no more neither.
I know LJ. No, LJ, you gotta go. Don't even show up around here, LJ. Either it's click the link or good day. Click the link or good day, LJ. Which is it? Don't come in here chatting if you ain't gonna come up here. You see me and Ear Doctor up here.
You know what I'm saying? Acting like she got class or something, man. This you like Rudy on Fat Albert. No class.
She does have class. They do have class. You meant as though an academic place that they are.
Oh my goodness, you're so slow this morning, Kim. I mean, you got to come up with the jokes. You got to.
I'm slow. Okay.
I mean,
maybe
you didn't get that one.
You. Maybe your jokes are just stinky. You.
Well, anyway, it was a good week, and then I got to do Sundays. So big up to everybody tuning in for Sundays. Yeah, that was fun, and we got to do classical breakdown on Minnie Riperton, and that was. Wait a minute, was that this week or the week before?
It was Thursday. This past Thursday.
Yeah.
How did the episode do? That's probably one of my favorites. I'm not gonna hold you.
I think we up to about 500 views. Go ahead and check that one out if y'all haven't already. You know what I mean? And this week we will be doing the 80s. classics from the 80s. You got people like Sheila E. You got Luther. You got Cameo. You got what's old girl name again? Damn, I forget her name. Anyway, Jody Watley, Billy Ocean, Nita, Janet, Prince, Rick James, bitch, Sade, Tina Turner, Lionel, looking like a lion for real, Whitney and Michael. So it's a bunch.
Ooh, that was a stacked decade.
Yeah, it was. I'm telling you, you got some bangers. We ain't even talking white music. We just talking black music right now.
I want to dig. My aim for this week's classical breakdown for the 1980s. I want to dig into some of these one-hit wonders that I used to love. Did they ever play Barbara's Bedroom in Jersey or Philly?
Not that
I was in Barbara's bedroom. Oh, I was in Barbara's bedroom. You should have seen me.
Is that a local act?
Oh, it wasn't. It wasn't. I don't think it was anyway.
There we go. That's my favorite word.
I know what local music sounds like. That I don't think that was a local tune to us.
Another time think. I love that word because anyway. But so Barbara's Bedroom. I'll see if I can pull that up.
Chat, y'all, anybody? I'm not the only one who remembers that song. I was in Barbara's Bedroom. And there was a bunch of songs like that, like just with these off the wall one hit wonders that, you know, fall down a hole, never to be heard from again, I suppose. So
only bedroom song I know is Two Live Clue. 1 and 1. We're having some fun in the bedroom all day and all of the night. Yeah.
No, it was another bed. Well, Meeting in My Bedroom by Silk. That didn't come out to the 90s.
Yes, let's talk about bedroom songs. What else we got? That's about it. Yeah, so that's what it is, man. So we go get into some stuff. I guess we could go ahead and get into. You got any news over there? I mean, I could find some.
I do.
But okay, good. So let's take our first break. Let me go ahead and find a song so I can make us look professional here. Anything else going on? Well, how was your show? How was Burn It Down show?
Fine. It was.
Yeah,
well, we didn't. I didn't do a show on Friday. It was 4th.
Oh, okay. So you celebrating? All right, I get it.
Well,
you gotta say nothing to me. I get it.
First of all, I don't celebrate the 4th. Let's start there. I don't celebrate the 4th, and then on the 4th, you know, there was a lot of poetic stuff happening to the United States on July 4th this year.
Name some of it.
Okay, well, I think it's poetic on one hand that the first capital of the U.S., Philadelphia, is buried under tons of trash, you know, rightfully so. Shout out to the AFSCME District Council 33 out there 7-8 days strong on the picket line, protesting and withholding their labor in search of better wages, better conditions, pandemic compensation, all of that. So I'm like, wow, look at America's first capital city under trash on July 4th. I said that represents America perfectly, actually. You know what I'm saying? Like this is, and this is not a shot against Philly at all, but this is the shithole country. You know what I'm saying? Like it's right here. Like it ain't over there somewhere. It is right here. And then, of course, the tragedy of the floods that happened in Texas. While, you know, these folks, conservatives, Republicans, even Democrats don't do fuck all to address the issues of climate change, climate disaster, worsening weather events that can cause shit like what happened in Texas. And it was who it happened to also in Texas, I thought was poetic. I'm not saying it's justified. I'm just saying it's poetic. You know, these were wealthy white children. Well, like these kids was rich kids, you know what I'm saying? White Christian kids going away to sleepaway camp, which made me scratch my head a little bit because they were saying some of the campers were as young as 8. I said, who sends their 8-year-old to sleepaway camp?
People that's getting money and don't got time to raise their kids.
I guess. Them. I said, who was putting a 3rd grader in goddamn overnight camp for weeks? Like what?
That's great. And 2 of your favorite musicians backed out of doing a concert due to the strikes going on in Philly.
That's right. I think you got the clip. I think I can probably find it.
I don't know, but I know it was Jasmine Sullivan and LL Cool J.
Well, LL put out a video. That's what I mean, the clip. But I can find the clip. Yes, and that was an interesting move from LL Cool J. I didn't see that coming.
I mean, LL apologized. He said he fucked up by doing that song with the country singer. He said, I fucked up.
Did he apologize?
Yeah,
really?
He did.
I mean, but does he apologize for? I mean, even
I think he don't apologize for nothing. So that right there, I was like, okay, L, all right.
Well, he's a proud Republican.
Hey, man, it's funny. I was watching a video about this. You know how Jackie and Ricky be getting on the Democrats all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was seeing the video. This dude was like, "Wait a minute! So y'all want to vote for a lady that smoked weed and put people in jail for smoking weed, and y'all want to vote for a white old guy that's been putting people in jail for decades over a guy that's pardoning people, getting them out of jail, and doing a bunch of other stuff that got this world not going crazy and stuff like that." I was like, he makes a point. He makes a hell of a point.
Listen, you can go ahead. People, go ahead with your blacks for Trump. You're going to get the same treatment as the Latinos for Trump, okay? Like, your time just may be a little bit more delayed than the real-time karma that Latinos for Trump are experiencing right now. But being black for Trump, that's not going to, that might buy you the tiniest bit of time. I don't think it's going to buy you any favor or consideration when it all comes down to it. Because again, Trump is not making no distinctions here, okay?
Yeah, I just think it's really nobody to vote for. That's the fucking crazy thing about it all. It's like we're forced to vote. Like, fuck, we got these motherfuckers we gotta vote for? Oh, great.
Well, that's why it's time to burn it down. It's over. America's run its course. 249 years. That's plenty. That's enough time. It's time for this to be over and done with. Let's do something different, go in a different direction. Wow, this country hollers and screams about regime change. No, regime change needs to happen at home, okay? Regime change needs to happen here. Regime change needs to happen in Israel. Israel needs to not exist as a state. But before we holler about regime change, not us, but the goofies in this country holler about regime change, no. Regime change needs to happen right here. There's troops on the streets of Los Angeles, and that's just going to be accelerated in the coming weeks and months. I don't even know what the end of this summer is going to look like. It's going to be nasty.
And I was just thinking, we talk about taking a week off. I was like, damn, there's so much news happening every day. It's just like, it's not nothing we can't even talk about. But we still need a mental health break. So we're going to do that. All right, with that said, let's take a break. And then we are going to come back with some more right here on the Other Than the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Yeah. Big up. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare. And yes, you can donate where? At blkliberationmedia.org. That's what keeps this train going. Your support and your love and your sharing is caring. You know what I mean? All right, so let's get to it. It's crazy outside with this weather. Like I said, it's global warming. You don't know what you got ahead of you. But let's start in the ATL. We got a high today of 92 degrees, nice and warm with some rain. Yes, isolated thunderstorms. Also in DC, it's a little hotter, 94. They're going to get a little rain too. Chicago, they got a high of 82, a little bit of rain over there. San Antonio, outside of where they had the floods, they're getting isolated thunderstorms over there, high of 90. So I know that sucks, especially after being wet and then it being hot. Los Angeles, high of 83. Venezuela got a high of 81. Nice and warm. And last but not least, let's go to Mongo, Chad. How many times do you hear somebody say, well, I'm going to Chad? Never. Especially Mongo. But they got a high today of 93 degrees. Now that's kind of hot. But I'll tell you what else is kind of hot. And it got me kind of hot is like brothers dealing with a lot. When I'm speaking about mental health, we just lost another MC. He went by the name of Young Noble. Young Noble was down with Tupac's rap group, The Outlaws, out of Jersey, but he came out of California, came out there and hooked up and got down with The Outlaws. You might be able to hear him on certain songs like Bomb First, Hail Mary, Life of an Outlaw, and Just Like Daddy. So he was a member, one of the last members to join the group. He put out over 7 solo albums himself, but he just committed suicide here in Atlanta by a gunshot on July the 4th. And he passed by the age of 47. Yep. So get your mind right and don't check out just yet. We all fighting this thing together. All right, with that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Either psychic or he has a knack for trouble. Cause Scotland Rock showed up in an all black BMW.
Yeah.
That is extremely sad. That the brother ended up losing his life at age 47, really at any age, but unaliving, death by your own hand is something that affects our community. We don't talk about it a lot. We don't talk about it enough. And I don't know what resources are available for folks that are struggling. And I know there's a suicide hotline, a national one. I don't know. I'm always reluctant about getting authorities involved especially if you're not feeling well mentally, because that can exacerbate and escalate a situation in a direction that you don't want it to go. But at the same time, folks do need help and assistance, and that's what I'm talking about. We have to burn America down, because where can a black man go when he is feeling like he's ready to end it all? Like where can he go? Who can he go talk to? Who can actually help him? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a lot of things. My brother's back in jail now because he has a temper and he wilded out on somebody, and after 21 years, right back because he couldn't control his temper. He had really nobody. He needed therapy, and you just don't know, because then they'd lie to you and be like, "I'm good, everything's great, everything's going straight." So you never even know. It's a lot.
But what was available to him when he came out? Did they set up therapy?
Oh no, hell no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what is the expectation if you keep people in a cage for years, significant portions of their life? And talk about your brother in that respect. I mean, prison is traumatizing, right? So what you want to release further traumatized individuals back in the world and expect them to perform at a high level, expect them to be quote unquote normal.
And then and to add to that is then you have them where they're used to waking up a certain time, getting meals a certain time, going to bed a certain time. You don't have to worry about a lot. Then you go out into the world where you have to wake up at your own time. You have to find a job. You have to find food. You have to make sure you stay away from people that's going to bring you back into the realm of trouble. It's so much out in the world that you're exposed to now after being in this cell and not having to deal with people like that and deal with you doing your own shit on the regular without somebody telling you, all right, wake up. Because a lot of people will be like, yo, fuck this real world. I'm going back to jail. Shit is much easier in here than it is out there. And I hear that from people that go back all the time. Like, yo, it's crazy out there. Y'all can have that shit. I know I'm going to get my meal. I know where I'm going to sleep. I know all that shit. And ain't nobody kicking me out. I ain't getting evicted.
Yeah, but that sounds like an institutionalized person. You know what I'm saying? Institution than be outside breathing the free air. I mean,
it is institutionalized people. That's exactly what it is, and they get used to it.
And that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Should nobody be used to being locked down? Like that shouldn't be a state that you ever get accustomed to. Well, nor should it be something that you seek out, right? Not whatever, yeah.
Yeah, I was saying he's been locked up longer than he's been outside. So anyway, so with that said, I don't even know where to go from there. But news time.
Oh,
guess
Jesus.
Go ahead and do your spill, please.
Hit the button, Black.
That's all we get.
What you
I love
Peace, everybody.
There we go. Good.
Welcome. It's the Remix Morning Show. B Team version. We're not the B Team.
Oh, I'm about to say, who you talking about? It's the A Team. I'm B.A. Baracus and you face. Shut up, fool.
It's July the 8th, everybody, 2025. Thank you all so much for being here. It's Black Liberation Media, your number one source on the interwebs for information, organization, liberation, bringing it to you. Not now, though, when other people come up here and do that. But anyway, right now, you've got me in the ear doctor.
That's right. So get buckle up, get your drink. Get your I wanted to start it off like this, Kim.
Start it off. What you got?
So I just want to see what's your thoughts of this. Was, I love comedy, right? So I like when a good comedian can do stuff and talk you through it. You know what I'm saying? So I seen, you heard of a comedian called Ryan Davis?
No.
All right. So check this out, how he came with this right here.
Abused by somebody rich and powerful for years. I'm sorry. Happy 4th of July, Independence Day and all. But let's get to it. Imagine being abused by somebody rich and powerful for several years, and your abuse be witnessed by others, but they don't say anything. They don't help you. They don't even speak out against the person because they don't want to possibly miss out on benefiting from that person's resources. Your life being in danger and you being beaten and everything is worth them maintaining a certain level of status with this person. And they can't say they didn't know. Actually, let's even take it further. Let's say your abuse is on tape for the world to see and they see how bad it is. And you go, you know what? I got out of that situation. And if I get out of that situation and I have to live in this world with my abuser, I feel like my abuser should be punished by law and I should be compensated monetarily. And then the world goes, no. You benefited from being abused by somebody rich and powerful. Yeah, you were being abused, but imagine being abused by somebody poor with no status. That's a way worse life. So when you think about it, you actually should be kind of grateful. You shouldn't be compensated anything at all. So you don't get no money. And then it goes to court. And then they're not really found of any wrongdoing. They say, yeah, they were abusive, but not enough to be really punished for that. And they get a slap on the wrist. And then you wake up the next day and you see people celebrating their freedom. And you have to sit there uncompensated, watching people celebrate the freedom of your abuser.
Hey, but Cassie got paid though, bro.
Oh no. I know Cassie got paid. This ain't about Cassie at all. No. But like I said, happy 4th of July. Enjoy those fireworks.
Well,
that was a good way to talk about America. That was a great way to talk about America right there. I like that. We out here celebrating our abusers' independence, quote unquote. That was good. I like how he wrapped that up.
I don't think enough people have heard or listened to Frederick Douglass's, What to a Slave is the 4th of July. I think Black folks demonstrating any outward displays of patriotism just shows how deeply confused and lost we are. and we should stop. Okay, like this, we don't get brownie points. We don't get additional caste system points for being black in this country and celebrating America. Like, what do you get for that? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Even, for example, for the ICE raids, people that are being abducted off the streets of Los Angeles and other cities across this country, the one Latino brother, he has 3 sons that are all enlisted in the Marines, and the ICE agents kidnapped him, and he's being held in detention, right? He gave his most prized possessions to this country, and what did this country do in return? They stole his freedom. So if you are, I can't even say it even benefits white folks to be patriotic, to be honest. Like there's no upside to claiming allegiance to this country or to this system. So folks should always, black folks in particular, should totally be chastised for celebrating 4th of July.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta, and especially like nowadays when you got other stuff you could be celebrating, but you look at it like, I'm not doing that. You got a Juneteenth, you got a Kwanzaa, you got certain days that you can even celebrate, but then you look at it as like, that's corny. That ain't what we do. So I don't know, man. Anyway, I just thought it was I like how he just did that. I like when comedians are able to take you a certain place.
Yeah, I didn't think that was all that good. It wasn't, you know, I mean, it was. You
didn't like the correlation due to them talking about the whole case?
It was very meandering. Like, it wasn't sharp. Like, I'm thinking comedian, this shit is about to be sharp. It's about to be concise, funny. He about to hit us with some Dick Gregory, some George Carlin-esque level of analysis and jokes. Sorry, Ryan. Okay. Sorry, young fella.
All right, good. All right, so what you got?
Nothing. I mean, I have to find stuff. So okay. I'm still looking because right. I save all kinds of stuff. Like some stuff I don't even know if y'all would be interested in. So anyway, give me a couple seconds. Pick something else up here, Doctor.
All right,
I mean, but I just wanted to say, you know, to all the other Remix Morning Show hosts, shame on you. Y'all just leave us out to dry. You treat us like animal. You know what I'm saying?
Animal.
You treat us like animal out here, and I don't dig it.
So let's go to the flood joints then. That's cool. I could bring up a story that Erica Brown never leaves us to dry. She makes sure that we got our stories and everything.
Sister Erica's a real one out here.
Yeah. So I got a deadly Texas floods leave officials pointing fingers after warnings missed. I got a video here, so I could go ahead and pull that up, and we can talk about that. All right. So, bam, here we go. Deadly floods. Damn it! What is this? A paywall? Oh no. Okay. All right. Here we go. We got this video right here. Let's get to it. If it's going to show for us. Boom. All right. Let's do it like this. Are we finished with this? So, back to Texas. Why is this not going?
Certainly historic. This threat is
okay. We're not gonna go with that. But as you can see, the fireworks and stuff. As we're trying to get to this video, as this advertisement has 4 more seconds left, and we shall get to the video. Let's go.
These like this could be prevented.
Here we go.
Kerr County, we're likely using outdated systems to notify people in the area about the dangers of flash flooding. For years, that was primarily a word-of-mouth system, meaning people upriver would often call or send text downriver, warning others about the threat of flash flooding. But in cases like this, it's not always effective in the dead of night when people are sleeping or maybe have their phones on Do Not Disturb. While the floods this weekend were certainly historic, this threat is not new, and neither is the discussion on how this could have been prevented. Take this video from 1987, nearly 40 years ago. The Guadalupe River flooded back then, rising 26 feet and sweeping a school bus off the road. That flash flood killed 10 teenagers and injured 33 others. Then, just like now, the discussion is how tragedies like this could be prevented. And despite efforts from certain officials, very little progress has been made over the decades. Like in 2016, the sheriff at the time proposed upgrading its outdoor siren system that could ring unique sounds depending on the type and level of the threat. But county officials have recently said taxpayers have rejected the new sirens after seeing the price tag. Kerr County reportedly does have sirens, but not necessarily in Kerrville or near Camp Mystic. Other Texas River counties, like nearby Kendall and Como County, also have sirens, and they work this weekend. The decision to implement sirens is made at the local level. They're not required by any federal or state law. And critics point out that they can be expensive and costly to repair, somewhere between $10,000 to $50,000 per siren. Senator Ted Cruz says he hopes notification improvements can be made after this tragedy.
There will be another flood, there will be another disaster, but next time there's a flood, I hope we have in place processes to remove especially the most vulnerable from harm's way. But I think that's going to be a process that will take a careful examination of what happened and how can we implement processes better in the future to prevent this same loss of life?
Here's what we know about this weekend's warnings. The first flood watch alert went out after 1 p.m. on Thursday. 12 hours later, a life-threatening flash flood warning was issued in Kerr County. It was upgraded to an emergency at 4 in the morning on the 4th of July. 30 minutes later, the sheriff's office was alerted to flooding at low water crossings. And then an hour after that, an emergency was issued for the entire Guadalupe River in the hill country of Texas. Given the speed the river water rose, there's arguments to be made that even the most robust siren system may not have been quick enough. A flood gauge in Kerrville indicates the water rose from 1 to more than 34 feet in a matter of hours, flowing water and debris at the same rate as Niagara Falls.
Damn.
Listen.
So, I mean, obviously there's a lot there, but it just, in terms of what could have been done to prevent, it just goes to show you the kinds of things that this country invests in are not things that benefit the whole of the population, right? In 2025, in an area of Central Texas known as the Hill Country, but also known as Flash Flood Alley, according to meteorologists, you don't have a siren system in place for why? Oh, you don't have money? Are you sure about that? What about the money that the Texas Rangers get?
I was just thinking that the Cowboys, the Houston Rockets, the San Antonio Spurs.
I mean the actual law enforcement agency. They have they're called the Texas Rangers, nigga, not the baseball team.
My bad. I'm just thinking of all these sports teams that Texas has that got all these billions and billions of money, but they can't buy $10,000 sirens.
I mean, it's not that they can't. It's a choice, right? It's an intentional choice. What they choose to fund and what they choose not to fund has everything to do with where their priorities lie. And to try to make a notification system widespread and available for folks that will be experiencing more intense and extreme weather situations, be it these extreme flash floods, extreme droughts, unseemingly high temperatures. You know, a lot of the world right now, especially a lot of the northern hemisphere, is experiencing record high temperatures. So the climate catastrophe is here. But these are political decisions, not made exclusively by Republicans, but across this country as a whole, but definitely in Republican strongholds like Texas. I mean, they deny that climate change is even a thing. I think some of these visible GOPers like Marjorie Taylor Greene and some of these other goofballs were making comments that the weather event was fake, like this was a fake thing. I'm like, fake? Like, you just saw 100 of your folks, like your own folks. Like normally they shrug and look away when it's brown and black folks that have experienced a mass casualty event. But these are y'all's folks, whites, well, conservative whites, and you shrug and say, oh, well, this was a fake event and da-da-da. I mean, there's an intentional disinvestment from this administration in the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, and the National Weather Service. When these DOGE cuts initially happened, when Trump came to office, all the scientists and meteorologists that worked at the National Weather Service said that this is going to impede our ability to accurately not only predict and track weather, but to give proper advanced heads up and notifications to folks, right? This happened to Black folks in St. Louis earlier in the spring, where a tornado came through. Was that North St. Louis, everybody? And there were no notifications, and they do have sirens in Missouri. No tornado sirens went off. People were not expecting this tornado, which caused tremendous devastation. We've had people die in Hurricane Helene last year, that a lot of folks weren't anticipating that a hurricane could come that far inland and make that kind of disaster that folks are still recovering from in Western North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee. But I just hope that let this tragedy serve as an example to the conservative whites, especially, that Trump don't give a fuck about y'all. He don't give a fuck about your children. And that's the other thing, Air Doctor. When I saw it was little white girls, being swept away. I said, isn't this the thing, the item that white conservatives want to protect the most? Isn't this their most valuable, the new generation of breeders to bring new white folks onto the planet? And y'all don't give a damn that these young girls got swept down the river. And what is going to change after this?
Yeah,
Probably very little.
All that oil money, all them teams, all them people, billionaires and millionaires in Texas, and they ain't want to spend 10 G's for some fucking. Is that, you think that's in revolt to the whole belief of climate change? Like, we don't need that shit, or is it just being cheap?
I think it's part of it, but it is an example of this country's unwillingness to invest in infrastructure, period, right? Like, what the fuck do we have in America that is worth fighting for? You know what I'm saying? So, all right, in that place where these floods happened, they say that cell service is spotty, that even if you have like an emergency weather radio, that radio signals are spotty. Well, that's an infrastructure problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can put up a radio antenna, you could put up a cell tower. And if they don't have those things in that area, it's because they don't want those things in that area. And that's a them question. I can't answer that. But, kind of talking about what I said earlier about I don't want to say poetic justice of it all, but the river that flooded was the Guadalupe River. Guadalupe, the Virgin of Guadalupe, is the patron saint of Mexico, and I'm gonna mind my business after that. I'm gonna mind my business after that.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that's a whole wild story. Guess who's gonna come and join us today?
Who?
Dun, 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 dun. You see her on Saturdays. I'm just gonna say that and leave that there. And big up to all of my fans in the chat room that wait for me to say something and have their remarks. Oh my God, I love your fans. All right, so let's see what else we got here. All right, let's see.
Wait, okay. Oh, I thought she was coming on now. Okay.
Oh, no, not just yet. Not just yet. She got to get some
things together. But I couldn't find LL real quick. Hold on.
Well, you know what? That's the thing about Renee. She pops in when she wants to. Because Renee is not only on Saturday, it's Renee on Tuesday. What up, Renee?
I see your cape flapping in the background, Renee. We appreciate it.
Your green, yellow, and red cape. I see you.
I'm still on Cali time, man. I'm like, wait, what time is it? What's going on?
What, you was in Cali?
Yeah, my stepdaughter goes to USC, so we went to LA.
Oh,
okay. We were in LA for the past week. Hanging
out.
No. Yeah, we got back yesterday. Like literally yesterday.
What did you see? Did you see Insanity?
No.
Okay, well, I'm glad you didn't see it.
It was not. No, it was not. It's so LA is weird because you have to really be like, it's so big. You have to really be where something is happening to know something is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And there ain't nothing going on the USC side of town. Like, it's just there's barely any students because it's summertime.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's just not a lot happening. But we went out to San Diego, which is cool. I've never been to San Diego.
Would you go back
to San Diego?
If your people?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe not LA, but I'd go back to San Diego. San Diego was cool. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
What was the ratio of the demographics?
in where?
Where'd you just say you was at?
I don't know.
Where you
Uh,
just
we
say you
were-
was at? San
I know, but
Diego?
we were in San Diego for like half a day. Like I don't know.
Oh.
I didn't do no research.
Well,
we went to the zoo.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm thinking the campus or something.
Oh well, I mean USC is so big. The USC itself is not a super diverse campus. I feel like I want to say it's like maybe 15-20% non-white, but it's also such an expensive damn school. Like we were walking around and I was trying to figure out like why I didn't like it there. And you know, it's one thing to be around a lot of whites. It's another thing to be around a lot of rich whites. It's just like
So what, she got a scholarship or something?
Oh, she ended up getting some academic funds, yes, after some time, but you know,
just a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot, and without getting too much into it, like you know, there's only but so much that is required to come out of our accounts, so.
That's good. Well,
Kim knows exactly what I'm trying to say. That's why she got the small smile going. But I am so I reached out to Don, who I see in the chat.
Hey,
Because I knew I was in LA, and I was like, I'm in LA, and then it just got so crazy that I ended up not even being able to catch up with him. But shout out to Don, because he did offer to feed the family, which was much appreciated. So
that's great. That's great. So we was just talking about the whole Texas things. What's your thoughts on it? You have any?
Which Texas thing? The flood?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you
niggas is cheap. That's what
I'm like, if you don't have the amount of staff necessary to forewarn you that stuff is happening, and then stuff happens, you can't be mad because you didn't get warned. Like y'all all part of the problem. This is all, you know, literally it was said, like when they started firing people, they were like, yo, you know, when we have weather issues, there's going to be a problem. If you do this, it's going to result in a problem. And it resulted in a problem. Like I can't, you know, like what do you, and I feel, you know, listen, I see a lot of people like, well, y'all voted for him, and like I hear you, but like I don't know what that has to do with anything. Like I get it, but in the end, part of the issue is the whole system is fucked. So there is no guarantee. Like, let's not forget when the floods and everything happened. Was that North Carolina too?
Yes.
Last time, right? They didn't have any help either. like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not just we perpetually live in a place that feeds a climate crisis. And so when these things happen, this is the end result. And it's people who it's not all people who voted for Trump who are suffering right now. So to be like, well, Texas voted for Trump, like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, I see a lot of like these reports like, well, you voted for this and you wanted this and like, you know,
How
but
can
I
we snap people out of that, Renee, because I hate that, you know, and especially liberals are so kind of obnoxious with that shit, right?
Very.
Like when there is a natural disaster or something terrible happens where lots of people lose their lives or lose their livelihoods or their homes or whatever, like people in blue states are that's what y'all get. And it's like, first of all, if we're talking about black folks in particular, most black Americans live in the South. They live in red states.
Right.
So I'm sorry, you thought black people was out there pulling the lever for Trump and Republican leadership, so
Right.
they deserve suffering that
Right.
happens. And it's like, y'all are weird. As big of weirdos as the fucking conservative Zionists when liberals do that shit. It's like,
And I really don't know how, because part of the problem is, you know, liberals specifically are so focused on like the people, right? So they want everyone to focus on it's Trump, it's Trump, it's Trump, it's Trump, because, you know, should we not be in a position where everything is straight to hell in 3.5 years, when it's time to vote again, they want people to go back to the Democratic Party. So all they're going to focus on is it's Trump, it's Trump, it's Trump. They're never going to take any responsibility for anything else that's been happening. So I feel like one of the big things, especially here, that we need to do is remind people that it's a systemic problem. Like this is not a like we don't have floods and all these crises because Trump is in the presidency right now. It's because we have decades of feeding problems that have caused these weather issues, right? And that's through all administrations, because none of them really give a shit about the environment, right? Like, so this is the problem.
Do you think they look at it like, you know, these natural disasters happen and then they're able to cleanse out an area and then be able to go over there and rebuild again? Could that possibly be?
I mean, I know that is definitely the end result. Like I'll never forget after the levees broke in New Orleans, my mother's a social worker, and so she went down there to help because she worked for the government. Like she did international social services, and so she would like have to help people who went overseas and some crisis happened, and then now they're trapped overseas. So she would like help that person get back and get services. That was her job. And so when the levees broke, they sent like a team of people down to try and help people get services. And she went down there and she said, I remember she was like, it's so weird because it's like you're supposed to be down there helping, and she's like looking at, you know, the Red Cross and all these things, and she was like, it just doesn't feel like people are really concerned about the people, right?
Concerned about that land, like get these niggas up out here. They on their Bible shit, like, yo, God sent a flood to get these motherfuckers. So right. And so when you look now at what all those areas are, they were quick to kick all the people out. Like, y'all can't come back. Like they moved everybody and then didn't let them come back. Right. So, you know, is it taking advantage of the situation? That would not shock me. Saying like in Hawaii when that massive fire happened, and then I think now like there's a whole battle over the land going on. So this, you know, like these things, I think people definitely do take advantage when it happens. Are they looking at like, oh, now we can do this? I don't know for sure. That's why I said natural disasters.
They definitely take advantage. Oh, there we go.
I mean, but you got to figure the area where the flood happened, you know, the whites have been sending their kids up. These are for generations, like Camp Mystic. Like this is a 100-year-old camp. Like generations of these rich crackers have been going there. So the area is for them already, right? Like, they just didn't. I guess they just didn't think it could happen to them, which is wild. But you know.
But ain't they just gonna raise a bunch of funds and put some more money in it? Now they're gonna put more money in the area, fix it up, and make it nicer.
Yeah, I mean. That happens. This is what they do. Like and
they know them rich parents got the money to fund it and make it happen again.
I know, but who's gonna be willing to send their kid back? You know what I'm saying? Like y'all gonna have to reconfigure all this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sending
they're gonna have to get
my precious white children
right
to the flash flood alley. I mean, it was inevitable. Unfortunately, it was just a matter of time, and that is we're all on borrowed time when it comes to these.
I agree. And if you see, there's actually a few videos that show like how the water came in. Like there was, I don't know if these were people from like the state, like I don't know who they were with, but they were standing on like the side of a bridge. I don't know if it was like in a valley or what. and they were like watching the water come, and you can literally see them like, oh shit, like jump in their cars and drive off because they saw the water rising, right? Like it was that fast. Like it came like that. And so a lot of times when these things happen, I don't think people really understand, like when these floods happen, it is like that. It is not a slow, like, oh, the water's rising. Where we live in New Jersey, it actually floods a lot, and we're right like on the edge of like 100-year-old flood line or something like that. But when we first moved here, it rained for like a day and a half when we moved in, and I woke up in the morning and the street, it was a river. Like they were sending boats from out in front of our house to rescue people down the street. And so like it's wild. It's wild. Like it's,
I mean, having kids, would you send your kid to a camp that's located in Flood Alley?
I watch too many documentaries to send my child out anywhere.
That's actually called Flood Alley. Like, that makes sense. No chance that they'll flood again while my kids are there. That is some wild.
So,
like I said, I think
I'm stuck on the level of parenting that would send their 8-year-olds to overnight camp to a cabin hundreds of miles away from your house. You're going to send your elementary school age child to an overnight camp? Like, white parents can't wait to get rid of
that's like them sending them to them boarding schools. They be like, listen, I got money to make. Go take care of my kids.
Say that part.
I got legacy. I'll give them the business later.
I don't know. I can't call that one. I mean, I guess I'm trying to think. I don't know. Like I went to summer camp when I was young. My mother sent me to a summer camp when I was younger because she was trying to find stuff for us to go do. But I'm trying to think. I might have been 8.
My overnight camp was I was in middle school. You know what I'm saying? It was 6th, 7th grade. But I just think that's too small. That's too small.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. I can't call it. I can't. I just know, like, I don't know. I don't trust other people.
That part.
Yeah.
So I'm like, once you're out of my sight for the night, like I don't know if you're actually safe, which is like a whole other version of like stress. Because you want, he's going into high school. And so, I want him to have freedom and the ability to like go do other things and hang out and stuff like that. But it's nerve-wracking. So
Kim,
your doctor.
I was just about to say, you sent me some stories. Which one do you want to rock with first? The first one?
It doesn't matter.
All right. So with that said, let's go to 18-year-old. Something going on with an 18-year-old?
Yeah. So, unfortunately, a lot of times when our folks die in custody, in police custody, it's not given the same level of attention as it would if they were, say, to be shot by police or to be outright stolen by cops. But when folks die in custody, it's, a bunch of shugging, bunch of hemming and hawing, or we don't know what happened. And unfortunately, an 18-year-old from Philadelphia, a young woman, this happened to in recent days. So let's take a listen.
That's 18-year-old Sanaya Cheatham in the white jersey, joking around Friday at this 4th of July family cookout in Crotona Park.
We was hanging out, having a good time. Mommy, I love you, giving me a kiss.
But just hours later, Sanaya's mother, Thomasina, got a call that her daughter was found unresponsive in a jail cell here at the NYPD's 41st precinct in the Bronx. After Thomasina says Sanaya and her girlfriend got into a fight Friday night and were both arrested.
And now to wake up that she's no longer here with us, it's really sick, man. I haven't slept. I haven't ate since Saturday. I'm sorry.
The NYPD told us in a statement that around 12:40 in the morning Saturday, police requested EMS for an 18-year-old unconscious female prisoner, adding multiple officers performed CPR while awaiting EMS response. EMS transported the female prisoner to Lincoln Hospital, where she was pronounced deceased by hospital staff. The NYPD's Force Investigation Division is investigating.
But there are still so many unanswered questions about what exactly happened in that jail cell Friday night, including one question Sanaya's mother once answered maybe more than anything. How did her daughter stop breathing?
She's very healthy. How could that possibly happen in a precinct? Like, was anybody watching her?
The 18-year-old Bronx Community College student loved music and dancing. Now her mother hopes access to police surveillance and body cameras will offer clues.
The cameras should show exactly what happened.
As well as the medical examiner's report, which is yet to be released.
That was my only princess. I have 4 boys and 1 girl. We just really heartbroken right now.
Yeah. So 18-year-old from the Bronx dies in NYPD custody while being held. And what is the reason here? What I don't anyway, I don't know what to say. This is a statistic that is not kept track of, not monitored at the state level, at the federal level. We have no idea how many people actually died in custody, in prison. And usually families are given very few, if any, answers. And, you know, Renee, the young lady was having a good time 4th of July weekend. I'm sorry, the 18-year-old just drops dead all of a sudden out of nowhere.
And this is the question we need to ask: why are we saving people over disputes? Like, why is that the end result? What is she doing there? Over
like, what happened to chastising, like sitting down and having a good talk before you lock somebody up? That's crazy. 18,
right? That all said, all right. So, like, I things like this give me angina. Like, I just don't even understand how
angina.
Yeah, like heart palpitations. They make my heart hurt. It's you know, we again live in a place where everything is policed and there is no one watching what police do. So who knows what happened? And the police report, I don't even know what the percentage of time is that they release one thing and you find out something else happened. So I don't take police reports for nothing because it's always garbage. And that poor mother, yo.
Yeah, for real. Listen, my friend texted me something. What do y'all know about alligator Alcatraz?
They've been talking about it a lot on Status Coup. So they're opening an ICE facility down there. But it's being built in a place that is like an environmental disaster. So it's similar to how they opened up Delaney in Newark, where it's an environmental disaster. You should not be putting people there. But they're opening a facility down in Florida, and they're calling it Alligator Alcatraz because I think there's also something about the flooding, and it's not a good space apparently for something like that. But
so it's a jail surrounded by water where it's alligators and flooded and wow.
I'll be honest. I don't know the full details because it's one of those, like, every time I haven't been able to watch any of the reporting that's been happening. But I thought I saw something that said like it got flooded, like the area where they're trying to put this thing got flooded the other day with this rain, but I'm not 100% sure. But they've been talking about it a lot on Status Coup. So.
All right. All right, we're gonna go to another story, or we need to take a break.
I just got here. What did you bring up Alligator Alcatraz for?
Oh no, my friend texted me and he asked me, did we talk about that or anything? I didn't know much about it, Mom. So that's why I was asking y'all know anything about it. So.
No, but if you take a break, I can find something so we can be a little more clear in our information.
Look at that.
Y'all didn't ask me. I know some things about Alligator Alcatraz. And we talked about it Thursday with Jackie.
Oh, so see, you wasn't there on Thursday, doctor.
what is that? No, I mean it's a concentration camp, right?
I do remember now.
It's a misnomer to even call it a jail. It's not a jail. It's a holding pen. It is a $450 million low budget concentration camp at that, where their intent is to hold people who have been marked for deportation or people who have been apprehended by ICE, and they just want to keep them there, hold them there without charge, without due process, without court dates. And really what I anticipate, what Trump and Kristi Noem and what they hope happen, is that a lot of people die. They're hoping that a lot of people, or the thousands of people, I think it's like a 5,000 bed, I hate to even call it a facility because it's not a facility. It's fucking tents in the middle on an airport.
5,000?
I think it's 5,000. I think the number is 5,000. Chat, or offer up corrections.
Look, and for people in the chat making fun, this show starts at 5 a.m. in California, y'all. I love y'all, but I was not getting up at 5 a.m.
And sometimes I run to the bathroom or something. I don't get the whole conversations all the time. My bad. Continue.
But 5,000 is a lot. It's wild.
It's a ton of folks. And to your point, yeah, the place flooded over the weekend. But meanwhile, the conservatives, Trump amongst them and others, are so giddy at the idea of alligators eating people that are being sent to so-called alligator Alcatraz. And again, it's a misnomer. Like Alcatraz was a federal facility, a prison, right, where people had been convicted of crimes and they were sent there. And these folks, this alligator Alcatraz in the Florida Everglades, again, no one's convicted of anything. And there you are sent indefinitely. And there was a clip when Trump was there of Trump having a low cognitive moment where he was asked by a reporter, how long do you anticipate detainees remaining here? Days, weeks, months? And then Trump went on some meandering answer about how he loves being in Florida. And, he has a little place down the road in Florida, Mar-a-Lago. Maybe you've heard of it, and he went off tangent, but more off tangent than what he normally does. It was a very Biden-esque kind of moment, but all of them fucking crackers was down there melting in that Everglades heat in humidity. And by the way, the indigenous people of the area say that this is a violation against their sacred grounds to place this facility on a protected area. And others have also pointed out, where's the septic system? Where are the sewer facilities? There are none. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be placing raw sewage right there into the Florida Everglades with the alligators and the wildlife that you claim to love so goddamn much. I mean, listen.
Don't get locked up in Florida. Good Lord. That's
well,
crazy.
I mean, but it's Nazi shit. You understand? Like there is nothing due processy about this. There is no constitutional anything. Like we are beyond the tipping point in many ways. And I don't think that a lot of people fully realize how far along down this slippery slope we have already slid, because everybody's not feeling it. Everyone's not even seeing it. But if they're willing to do this to these folks, why not expand that dragnet?
It's like the new Guantanamo Bay out here, man. Speaking of one real estate story, and going to another one, we have another story you sent me here. You want to just talk about it?
I don't know which one I sent.
It's a real estate story about a mansion.
Okay, so this is a story I picked because this is our enemies fighting one another. So we're talking about colonial France being sued in the International Court of Justice by Equatorial Guinea. But spoiler alert, Equatorial Guinea is suing on behalf of their what's the word? What's the big word Jackie uses sometimes? The comprador.
I know you ain't asking me.
I'm asking Renee.
No, Comprador class. Yeah.
The comprador class.
Yeah.
The black misleadership. So this is just an interesting story, just to give y'all an idea of how much money is out here being fleeced from the hands of everyday Equatorial Guineans, I suppose, by their ruling class. And now the ruling class is mad at France.
All right, play it.
Guinea has sued France at the International Court of Justice, ICJ, after French authorities confiscated an expensive mansion initially belonging to Equatorial Guinea's Vice President Teodoro Nguema Obiang Mangwe. 57-year-old Obiang is the eldest son of Equatorial Guinea's President Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo, who has been in power for 45 years.
Damn.
In July 2021, France's top court ruled that a mansion in Paris belonging to Vice President Obiang be confiscated, saying it was acquired through proceeds of corruption in government. The top court's decision ended litigation that had lasted over a decade after two lower courts ruled that the Equatorial Guinean vice president had illegally acquired the property. Obiang rejected the court's findings. The case against Obiang started in 2008 when he was agriculture minister. He was appointed vice president in 2016 by his father, President Obiang Nguema Mbasogo. When the matter, which was pursued by French prosecutors, reached France's apex court, the court ruled that Vice President Obiang used his position to pilfer Equatorial Guinea's accounts and launder the money in France. The court said the vice president bought a 101-room mansion on the exclusive Avenue Foch in Paris, as well as a fleet of high-end cars, watches, and designer clothes through a network of companies. The mansion in Paris has a cinema, a large steam bath, marble and gold water taps. The court ordered that Obiang's mansion, valued at over 118 million US dollars, be seized by French authorities ahead of a possible auction, and the raised funds be repatriated to Equatorial Guinea to benefit the citizens there. Obiang, who protested the ruling, said France had breached international law because it confiscated a property which was serving as Equatorial Guinea's embassy in France. Paris, however, said the building was merely Obiang's residence and served no diplomatic purpose because the African nation had its embassy elsewhere in the French capital. In its suit against France at the ICJ, Equatorial Guinea has asked the World Court to issue emergency orders stopping the possible sale of the mansion confiscated from Obiang. In the petition dated July 3rd, 2025, Equatorial Guinea further wants unhindered access to the building. The ICJ, which is currently grappling with a busy calendar, is yet to give its directives on the matter.
So we got the colonial class and the comprador class, you know, going head to head. So I basically hope everybody loses. Because, you know, I'm sorry, my guy, you need 100-room mansion in Paris that's worth over $100 million. Why do you need that, Vice President? Son of the president who has been in power for 45 years. If y'all don't seize that goddamn mansion and sell that motherfucker and take all the cash back to Equatorial Guinea and redistribute it amongst the folks, which we know is not going to happen. But I just thought that was an interesting story. I said, wow, I didn't even really know Equatorial Guinea had it like that to be buying $100 million mansions in Paris. But what do I know?
Hey, only person I know that's balling like that is Amber.
Hey,
and I'm tagging out. I'll catch y'all.
That's a lie. Amber.
Hi, Renee. I just want y'all to know that your doctor sent me a random email that said remix. Nothing more.
Yeah, that's all he sent me to. That's it. That's all I got.
Didn't send a text message, not a call, you know, a random email.
But whenever I get that, I always assume it is because he is on screen alone with whoever is there in the morning.
Stress. Stress.
Good morning, Amber. How are you?
Good morning, Kim. I'm fine. You know, just living.
I've been following your TikToks.
Oh.
I didn't realize you had got locked up. I didn't realize you was out here thugging in these Memphis streets.
I was just, you know.
I'm sorry that happened to you, by the way.
Myself. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was a little rough.
Renee, you ever had the cuffs put on you?
I have actually. Yes. And it's not so fun of an experience, and it's
Did you
cold
cuss
in
them?
jail cells. No, because it was so surreal, and I was young, and I just was like, what in the hell is happening right now? I was not in a place where I thought I was going to be arrested. I wasn't doing anything in which I thought I was going to be arrested. And so, if I had been doing something where I knew it was coming, I might have been less thrown off. But in the moment that it happened, I was like, what in the hell is going on? But it is in part why I do not want to go to jail now, because the one night that I spent in one was just not that. It was just not that.
It's a
fun.
lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot on your mental. I don't know how people do it.
Thank you, Cash. Cash said, "Look at beautiful Amber." I know.
Yeah. Follow Amber on TikTok, everybody. Give the people your TikTok account, Amber.
It's AS for Afro. It's the same thing on everything. TikTok, Instagram, all of it, same name.
Indeed.
AS for Afro. I just want y'all to know that Kim bringing up the one serious video I got on there. I be on there acting a fool. So please know.
I'm
I
sorry.
literally was making TikTok dances all weekend. I'm very unserious.
Well, no, actually, that's not true. I mean, well, let me put it this way. The fact that you show up on my For You page is interesting because I follow you, but your videos show up on my FYP. And the videos I see are the ones you breaking down policy. You broke down the Supreme Court decision about federal judges' ability to, issue injunctions, etc. So I've seen you do some smart stuff. You know
I'm
what
so
I'm
glad
saying?
they don't be showing you my shenanigans.
No, I haven't seen no shenanigans. I guess I got to go directly to your page.
You got to go through the page.
Shenanigans.
Oh, back to the fool. Oh wait, Kahinde said, "How was the Essence Fest disaster, Amber?" Essence Fest was lit as fuck. Niggas complain a lot.
Oh, you was down there for Essence. See, I was seeing the videos saying that it was a little empty, but tell us about it. What was Essence doing? New Orleans doing over the 4th of July weekend?
I think that there were less people there because I've gone like probably 3 other times. It's like my 4th time going. I think there were less people there, but I don't think it had a lot to do with what people were saying. I think it has more to do with like we're in an active recession, and most of the people that I met were people who are either living there or in places close by, and they just drove. Like I met somebody who was from Jackson, Mississippi. I met some people from like Macomb, some folks from like Atlanta who drove. Like a lot of people drove there because it was cheaper. People who were in other places didn't really fly as much like as they normally would. So yeah, I think that's really what it was.
I have a theory because I know that the DC area is usually very well represented at Essence Music Festival. And this is just my theory, but due to a lot of the federal layoffs, people lost jobs, people were cutting back. My guess is that a good chunk of the DC contingent did not go, right? Because the folks that could afford like an Essence Festival are usually people with good government jobs, and they may not have had them good government jobs this time around.
Down there deep.
Who was?
The aunties, like the aunties with your good government jobs be down there deep.
I mean, that's what Essence is, right? That's what I always took Essence to be. It's the Auntie Fest.
Yeah. I also think that because people are finding more, like they're finding out about Essence Fest more than just the auntie crowd, then it's a little awkward for some people because there were a lot more younger people there this year and last year. The first 2 times I went there weren't as many. And by younger, I mean really just like millennials that are my age range. We would consider them like super young, but like you're 25 to 30. Because a lot of people didn't know Essence Fest was free. Like a lot of my friends didn't know it was free other than the concerts. I was like, yeah, everything's free. And so now they all want to go. So several of them came with me this year and we was having a good time. They were like, we literally just didn't know that it was free for us to go. We thought you had to pay for everything. I was like, girl, no. Like I had a great ass time. McDonald's was throwing this after party every day after the convention center stuff. It was like a late night party. And the last day they had Mario. They had a performer every night. They had Leon Thomas the first night. I didn't go to the Saturday one. And then the last night they had Mario. And this girl that we saw at the breakfast spot we went to that earlier that morning saw us and was like, hey, I remember from the breakfast spot because I told her not to order this one thing that was going to be nasty. And she's like, I really appreciate that. Do you want this backstage meet and greet pass to meet Mario and a McDonald's gift card? I was like, girl, yeah. It was great.
Good.
Amber just said, I'm glad too, but Amber just said all the words, which is why I don't do them things. I'm not showing up in no McDonald's sponsored nothing.
It was free.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Ain't it? That's how they get you.
Get me how? I didn't pay for nothing. Shit. I was getting fed an open bar. McDonald's French fries and Mario non-singing ass because he can't sing that good. But yeah, it's fine.
At least you ain't stay around for Lauryn Hill, who came on like through 2
I didn't
in
go
the
to the
morning.
concert that night.
Yeah.
The Friday night one. I only went to the Saturday night concert because I want to see DeVito because I love DeVito. Down, love him down. But my mama came with me, so that was it was a little different. I will not be doing that again. But
Nice.
I told her we won't be because she was trying to be cheap on the concert tickets. I was like, girl, we need to get floor seats. I'm telling you, let's get floor seats. She was like, no, I think these are like 180. I was like, it's just 220. It's not a big difference. Then we get there. She was like, oh, I guess we should have got the floor seats. Girl!
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick break and let y'all get another news story now that Amber's enlightened us on the Essence Festival.
Okay, one quick thing.
Yes.
I just want to say, hey, back to Brian, but I am not an activist. It's the star asterisk organizer right there. But yes, I am.
Boy, we should have never gave Amber the keys to the chat room, boy. The whole show gonna be the chat room. Let's take a quick break right here on no other than the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Damn it. Remix on the remix.
For the longest while we're jamming in the party. For the longest while we're jamming in the party. For the longest while we're jamming in the party. And you're waiting on me, pushing everything right back on top of me, yeah. But if you think you're gonna get away from me, you better change your mind. You're going up. You're going home with me tonight. Let me hold you, go caress my body. You got me going crazy. You turn me on. Let me charm you, go right on me. You got me going crazy. You turn me on.
All right, let me take you to a time and place. Let me take you back to 1979 with the man them called Roy Ayers off his album Fever. The name of that song is Love Will Bring Us Back Together. Mixed with a little bit of 2003. We're talking about Kevin Little, Allison Hines off the album R&B Love. The name of that song is Turn Me On. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare, and donate where? blkliberationmedia.org. Continue with your support and also go there and check out the merch. We got some merch that you can rock out in the streets. So people can run into you and be like, yo, what's that? Oh, let me tell you. Bam! Black Liberation Media. All right, that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Won't you come on home? Turn me on. Won't you come on home? Turn me on. Won't you come on home?
Yeah, it was a good mix. I said, okay.
A little something. It was a little.
See him dancing in the party.
No, yeah, a little rock, a little two-step joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm fucking with it.
Man, I ain't DJ'd at the Essence Fest in 5 years. They bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to get up on stage with Snoop, Gina, and
I know
Martin.
what you're talking about.
You was at that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they had the gospel showdown. They had the
they aren't doing as many of some of the stuff they used to do before. I definitely noticed that, but I also feel like they're working with a smaller budget.
They are
like a much smaller budget. I also just think that people get like so in their feelings about stuff that's not even that serious. Like to me, the Target shit wasn't that serious. You could just not go to the booth. But I can tell you right now, them niggas in New Orleans was in that line deep. They was gonna go regardless. Like I was like telling people not to go to that booth is dumb as hell. It's free.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go because I was like, yeah, I don't see a point. But I definitely went to the other natural hair booths. I went to Mael and got some free products. They be giving you full size hair care products.
They do.
You think somebody gonna say no to that?
Is that why your hair looks so good right now? Did you got a whole?
What, they giving away hair?
No, I got this like months ago.
So we got another story or something, yo, so I can get out of here.
Did you talk about Musk's party since I was asleep? Did you do this new third party thing? Did you?
No.
Wait, you didn't hear this? You didn't hear the story, Kim?
No, I heard it, but no, we haven't talked about it. But I guess we could / should since.
Yeah, only because y'all know how I feel about this whole electoral politics thing. So I'm so curious about how this is all going to play out.
I think it's very interesting. Have you seen those simulator maps of like where the American Party people will be or whatever?
No. Mm-mm.
Someone posted one on Instagram that I was looking at, and it was very Southern skewed, and I was like, He was like, I don't know how true this is. What do y'all think? And was asking people's thoughts about it. I was like,
but where are they getting that map? Like, what?
They're making it. It's a simulator. They're like creating a simulator of where they think the people in the American Party will be.
So it's just an assumption. Like it's not based on any
they're
data
like,
at all.
this is the latest simulator of where people will be who identify with this party type thing.
It's just odd to me the amount of people in this country that are quite comfortable with Elon Musk driving the bus of the political direction of America, not just America. I mean, he's done this in the UK, he's done this in Germany, going over there, dropping money, trying to influence elections, throwing his support behind far right, extremist parties and candidates. So it's like, especially when I see the white liberals, they're like, "Oh, Elon." I'm like, "Yeah, Elon, motherfucker, the evil billionaire. Why is it that his political ambitions are something that excites you and that you want to get behind?" It's like, what are we talking about here? The same motherfucker who literally just gutted the federal government, the same person who killed USAID, without millions of people around the world are not going to go without life-saving services. Like, this is the same guy. So because he's fallen out with Trump, white liberals are like, "Oh, I guess he's one of the good guys now." Since when? It's just
honestly, he ain't that good because he ain't released no tea. Where's the tea? Y'all so mad at each other, then drop the tea, nigga. Stop sending hits on Twitter. Shit, he got on my nerves. I said, "All right, it's too much bread coming for me. You 3 tweets in, you ain't dropping them for real. We're done."
But we got folks like Renee Johnston and other folks out here that have been trumpeting the benefits of a third political party, but let the white man billionaire talk about it. Y'all, it's time for a third party. Elon in this country are so goddamn simple-minded and addicted to branding. It's so nauseating. But anyway, let me not piss on everybody's parade.
Also don't realize that the Republicans that are trying to target will be more likely to vote Democrat than a different party, because most of them are very moderate. So at the most, they would switch to Democrat. It's very, very rare that they would switch all the way to a new party. I don't think that would happen. I do want to bring up this comment that A-Rod wrote, though. It says, those corporate guardrails around certain conversations was very cringe. Trying to avoid conversations on race at Essence is nuts. I do want to say that Essence do be with the bullshit. And I knew several people who were supposed to be on a stage whose panels were canceled randomly day of. And because they be trying to avoid certain conversations or what outbursts might happen or whatever. And I find it very interesting. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's accurate. I mean, Essence used to be Black owned, but it hasn't been Black owned for a while. And I think sometimes the direction of, its signature event, Essence Music Festival, can reflect that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Renee, that congresswoman from New Jersey was one of them.
LaMonica.
One of them what? What are you, sorry.
She was supposed to be on the thing and they took her off.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, I don't know if she can leave the state.
Damn.
LaMonica was there. LaMonica was there. I was with her. We were at an event together.
Is that the lady? I'm trying to make sure I have my names right. Is that MacGyver?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And I thought you were saying she wasn't there, and I was saying maybe she couldn't leave the state.
No, she was there. The CBC people had a separate activation. This is actually why I like going to SSS, because there's so much that happens around it. There was a CBC activation, and my friends were like creators that they were doing like video stuff with, and so I was just there supporting them. They were on some panels and shit. Because Conscious Lee was on one of them. George, that's my homie. So he was on a panel, and baby, he was lighting Gregory Meeks up. Oh my God, it was so good. But they wouldn't let him do that at the actual Essence Fest. They'll let him do that at a separate thing. But she was there. She was there talking with Elizabeth and Jasmine, they did like a little live no distractions episode or whatever, because they were like, they wanted to make sure she still got like something from the experience, because she was there to speak on her thing, and they literally canceled her like 20 minutes before. I said, damn, what will Monica do?
But is it? But that's what, isn't it? It's an active, like it's active. So is it possible that she's trying not to get herself in more issue?
No, they took her off. I don't think it was her. She can leave. She can fly. She has
No,
to.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you're actively waiting to go back to court and everything that you say could be used against you in court. I don't know that.
Monica, from what she was saying, don't give a damn, because she was lighting niggas up. So I don't think she's worried about that.
I mean, she might look. I don't know
think
her
she
like
should be
that.
more
And
worried.
I've only been, from the distance following it, because that whole arrest of Baraka and all that stuff was all like nonsensical. And I think it's just
performative. I said not Raz.
It's very, very performative. And I am very curious now because his charges got dropped.
They're not gonna drop her charges.
So they're not gonna drop her charges though, right? Which I think is very telling.
And is Raz taking up for her? Is Raz leading a campaign to help her? Oh,
I don't know. No, I mean he showed up at the little rally when she went to court. He was out there.
That
but
nigga ain't doing shit.
Oh,
They
I
was
know
out
that.
there
But I don't
going
like
in
him,
for him till he got out of jail. They go and take this black woman, give her federal charges, and you ain't doing shit.
Yeah, they did a rally for her though. So there were a lot of people out there when she went back in for that initial court case, and I don't know when she goes back. But
yeah, I just think it was weird. And they've done it to some of my other friends before too, because I can't say their names, but some of my other influencer friends were supposed to be on some stuff that got canceled. And I just think that Essence be with the shit. Also, Musa said something in the chat earlier about them using the Essence Fest for Diaspora Awards, and they definitely are. They talking about how the lady is an African and she don't understand black people, And I was like, this is so dumb, because that's really not it. I really think that it has to do with the economy. And if I did not live close to New Orleans and only had to pay like $200 for Airbnb, then I wouldn't have gone either. And the only reason why I'm able to go is because there is so much free shit. Like I didn't have to pay for any food every day I was there other than my protein shakes in the morning, because there's so many free events. And as long as you know about them that are happening, you're good. But a lot of people don't know about that. So it is expensive. Like it's not a cheap trip.
Shout out to New Orleans. One of the most hospitable cities in America. Big up to all the black people.
I love New Orleans.
In Louisiana, we love y'all.
That's where I used to live in New Orleans.
No, I didn't know that.
I have many character arcs. little Amber lore. I was working remote and I said I don't want to be in Memphis no more because everybody keep coming up to me or know me from something and it's bothering me and it's getting anxiety.
Too famous out here. You know what I'm saying? No pictures. No pictures. Amber can't even go to the Kroger.
No, that's not it. It's more my head than reality. Like people do be noticing me, but I also am very self-conscious, very afraid. So I was like, I'm gonna just move to New Orleans. And I did. And I moved there and lived there for like 7 months and had a great time. Then my mama was having some health issues, so I came back. That's the only reason I came back. If she was not having health issues, I would have been there still. Wouldn't have left at all. Broke my lease for her and everything. You see what you people do to their mamas?
You're a good daughter. You're a good daughter. That's what good children do. Well, and that's a reflection of the kind of mother you have also, that you would uproot your life to come and care for her. So trust me, a lot of people's ain't shit parents ain't getting that kind of consideration.
Well, and she constantly reminds me, she taught me to pee. And so that's like her big thing she mentions so much. She's like, you don't want to do this for your mama. I taught you to pee. I said, that's so crazy to bring this up when I'm 30. Such a weird thing to mention.
But imagine your life if you didn't know how to do that.
Exactly.
That's her point.
Where would you be?
Figured it out.
You would have. I'm just teasing.
Also, Maggie said that she liked my top and the purple is my color. It's also my favorite color. And I just want y'all to see that it says Black Woman on a Mission right here. It's my friend's brand. Her brand is Black Woman on a Mission. Her name is Camille. And I love her stuff. This is the exercise top. She's put these exercise sets. Now the pants don't fit because my booty big. And I was really mad about it. I was so pissed off. I was like, bro, you need to be able to sell stuff where you can separate the sizes. But the top fits amazing. It's very comfortable. I worked out in it this morning. I'm finna go do a run after this. So if y'all looking for some cute workout gear, Black Woman on a Mission, they didn't sponsor me though.
So Kim, what's going on in Britain? You sent me another story or something.
He cut that.
He want to be a
Wait, but
producer
we
so bad. So bad.
Talking about Musk because we.
Oh wait.
Oh, you talking about okay? I was off track. My bad.
Just real quick, I do want to make sure that people are clear on a couple of things. One, there's no FEC filing, so for all of the, he formed a new party. You cannot form a new party without doing the actual like paperwork, and so until there's paperwork, we probably should not be giving this too much credence. Two, he claims he formed the party because he did a survey on Twitter, and the people wanted a new party. With the amount of bots on Twitter, and let's just be clear, he owns Twitter, so he could get whatever result he wants on Twitter. We should be very, very cautious about if we pay it any mind. And two, me personally, I feel like this is a perfect excuse to get him deported. And so I'm all for him acting the fool. They can send him back. I mean, they can send him back somewhere else, not necessarily where he came from, because I don't really want him to go back where he came from.
Send him back to Canada.
Send him somewhere.
back to his
right.
home country.
Right. They can send him to El Salvador like they send all the other people. You know what I'm saying?
Libya.
Like it's not like they're sending people like where they came from for real. So,
which is terrifying. By
terrifying.
the way.
I did put an article in the private chat about the American Party thing. If y'all want to pull it up, I do want to pull up Robin's comment real quick because they said, "Well, stuff also free and available for the houseless folks in NOLA." And I will say that I do not like how some cities, not New Orleans, but some of them, when they have big events, they remove homeless people like from where they are. They don't do that in NOLA. And I noticed it my first time at Essence Fest. They're definitely all still down at the convention center in the park. They be giving them food, water, like they're just doing regular stuff. And a few of them was definitely in the convention center. Like they don't bother them. They just are living their lives normally. And that is one thing I like about Essence Fest, because I do feel like there is this push towards, displacing people even further. Make sure you don't know that there are homeless people here. Like that's unrealistic. And I haven't seen that happen when I've been at Essence Fest. I don't like the number of cops. I actually moved to New Orleans because I never really saw police. That was one of my favorite things about it, is that in Memphis, I saw police everywhere. And when I was in NOLA, I really only saw like EMTs. And it felt the most similar to Memphis, but they all down at the damn convention center. That's why I ain't see them.
So I know they were displacing people for the Super Bowl. Maybe Essence, they don't go as hard. Maybe they went harder for the Super Bowl. But I remember seeing stories coming out of New Orleans during and leading up to the Super Bowl. They were moving unhoused folks around a lot. But maybe that's because they figured the rich whites would come in and be cruel. They figured the bougie blacks would, have some compassion. I don't know. They let them cook, let them chill. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's go into this article. What we looking at here for Alania?
Yeah, I found this article because it kind of honed in on what Renee was mostly saying, which is so far his plans are mostly all talk. The two things that Axios states is that creating a third party in the U.S. politics isn't easy and requires an organization that's able to gather the signatures of thousands of voters in a state to just get on the ballot. Musk, who sank well over $200 million into backing Trump and Republicans last year, has the money to do that. And then there's the question of which voters and candidates will be willing to stand with Musk. He has a history of erratic behavior, and polls indicate he's alienated voters on both sides of the spectrum by cozying up to Trump, leading Doge, and then bitterly breaking with Trump.
So what I thought was interesting in the article is that Andrew Yang's dumbass is like, I'm going to reach out because the Forward Party needs a place to go. And then there's also this note that No Labels group, and they're talking to the Libertarians. And in the article, it said that the Libertarians has the most ballot access of any minor party, but the Libertarians buy their ballot access. So it's not like, people need to understand that when you do, and this is why I beef so much with people about the Green Party, because they just don't, a lot of people don't really understand how this all works. So you can say I'm gonna form a party, but if you don't have 50 state parties to support your national party, you don't have a party, and you cannot have a party. It's not possible. And each of the states has its own process to have a party. And in some states, you literally cannot have a third party. So like in Virginia, you cannot have another party. The state constitution only allows the Democrats and the Republicans. So everyone else, you can get on the ballot and you can be a minor party, but you can never be an actual like third party, right?
What does that mean to be a minor party? Like,
it means that you can run candidates, you can be on the ballot, but you don't have what's considered like a concrete standing where your party just exists in the state, and that's it. And so it's very, very difficult. And the rules to get on the state ballot is also very difficult, and they change at a whim. So for example, where in New Jersey this year, the entire state assembly rolls over, right? So every assembly person in the state of New Jersey is up on the ballot. That's 80 seats. The governor's up on the ballot.
and the assembly person is just your like house and state, like state house.
Yeah, the
reps.
state. Yeah, right. So that's the state rep. So
an assembly person who's in a house district, are they not called a house assembly person, or like what is the difference?
So we have a state senate and we have a state assembly in New Jersey. It doesn't work the same everywhere. So it's different names, but in New Jersey specifically, you have your state senate, and you have your state assembly. The two of them together, if I remember the numbers correctly, make up about 120 people. And then everything gets pushed to the governor who does the final signing. And so
I'm mad that like won their primary. What you think?
Which one? Oh, she is a hot mess. And you saw her, she had a military helicopter. That's her icon on all of her Mickey Sherrill. I can't.
But do you think that Raz would have been a better option?
No. They all suck. That's the problem, is they all suck. And so you end up still with the same problem, right? You still end up with, it's either this one or that one, and then there's not really an ability for the third party to run. So the Green Party has a governor's candidate in New Jersey, and we got the signatures. He's on the ballot, but if you go to Ballotpedia, it says that he didn't make the ballot, but he did. Right. And so
that's so petty. What's his name?
Steve Zelensky.
Zelensky? Is he a white man?
Yeah, he's a white dude. I like Steve.
Like the dude from Hoes?
From who?
Madam Zelensky from Hoes. Oh my God.
Oh, Holes, the book. You listen, remember how much years I have on you. Holes was a big
movie, the book.
Yeah. My son read it and watched the movie. That was not mine.
I'm not gonna hold you.
But so this is the issue.
Oh, my bad. They say it's the Roni. I got it wrong. My bad. I woke up 30 minutes ago. I'm just saying.
So people just have to be mindful. So even this idea that they're going to be a disruptive force, you have to be able to like be in existence to be a disruptive force. And if you don't have anybody on the ballot, you can't disrupt anything. Because like, how are you disrupting the vote if you don't have anybody on the ballot? And so there's a lot of stuff behind this whole, we're just going to randomly start a party thing that people need to be mindful of. I also firmly believe that Musk is just like, his goal in life is to just be up and around and to see if he can keep himself like in the news loop. So he's mad that he's not going to reap his benefits from the bill. And so like, this is the next thing he's going to do, is he's going to claim he's starting a party. Now, if he does end up merging with one of these things that already exist, it's a hard call. Let's remember he was paying people to go vote for Trump. So there's a lot of things you can get away with in this country when you have a lot of money, and he has a lot of money. And so I can't say with any certainty, like, what happens next. But thank you, Robert. If he's on there now, then that's fine. But over the weekend, they had him listed as not having met the requirements. And it was on tap this week for our state, for the GPNJ co-chair, committee chair for elections to reach out to Ballotpedia and get it fixed. So I'm glad to hear they fixed it themselves. So, you know, I just don't want people to get, because this is what they do in the news. They want you to get fired up and distracted and talking about, you know, all this stuff. And I just don't know, you know, I also think it's way more difficult than people think to actually have like an impact on the duopoly here. It's like even this idea that they're going to split I see a bunch of people saying like, let them split the conservative vote. Like, you have to be on the ballot. Like, I can't say it enough. Like, they can only split it if they're on the ballot, and everything is about getting on the ballot, which requires having people on the ground and the ability to do that in every single state. So,
but see, when you go through the minutia of actually what is required for a new emerging potential third party to even be in play, you know, it very much reveals how much of a distraction of a story that this is. Like, that this story came out the same week that the budget bill was passed, right? It came out the same week Netanyahu's coming to visit. Like, I'm not convinced that Trump and Elon have actually fallen out, because both of these guys think that they are B and C and D list actors, and they love to put on performance. Trump especially, you know, hey, well, I'm gonna give Iran 2 weeks, and he hit him the next day. Like, Trump is a terrible liar. Elon also not a great liar. And I think that they are still very much in cahoots together, because Elon draws press, he draws headlines. He's a sensationalism magnet, right? Anything that he says, tweets out, whatever, gets seized upon and reported as though it is a legitimate story. But as Renee breaks down, nigga, you ain't got no fucking party. You got an idea. You know what I'm saying? You got thoughts and dreams and shit. Like, where you ain't got nothing. And I want make sure that we are putting this out to our people. Again, were we going to follow another billionaire? Like, for the amount of our folks that were indeed captured by Trump, a small percentage, but enough of a percentage. Oh, Trump's a businessman. Trump knows it. Like, the same arguments are said about Elon Musk. Oh, he's an innovator. He's an inventor. He's this. He's a billionaire. He's a terrible individual. He is an exploitative person who has achieved his wealth from stealing it from the labor of his workers and the extraction of the valuable things from the earth. Like, this is not someone that is to be followed nor admired. I don't care how rich he is. I don't care if him and Dave Chappelle are friends. I don't care. It's just weird to me how I don't want our folks to get caught up in this, because trust me, Elon's interests are not black people in America's interests. So don't even get your hopes up, Negroes. But hold on, before we get out of here, I did want us to talk about Ear Doctor. You had that story pulled up, and I wanted to talk about this, about how over in the UK, the group Palestine Action has now been prescribed as a terrorist organization.
They actually did it.
They did it. So, Ear Doctor, can you play that clip for us real quick, please?
Happens in modern day Britain for opposing genocide. It's quite something, isn't it? I mean, this is why the laws came in after 1945. The European Convention on Human Rights was to stop a genocide happening again, and now it's happening. I don't know. People have got short memories. The mother of all democracies, people.
Oh, maybe that was a wrong clip, but it's to the point. So yes, a handful of people have already been arrested for holding up signs, for having some sort of outward display of standing in solidarity with Palestine Action, which is an organization that has not only been standing against the genocide and the UK's role in participating in the genocide, but they had a very wonderful display of putting red paint on Royal Air Force planes that either flew or did missions or that had some sort of coordination with the Israeli genocide happening in Gaza. So now Palestine Action as a terrorist organization has been prescribed officially by the British government. And if you even hold a sign that says Palestine Action, you can be charged federally as a terrorist.
God damn. Not RICO
Yeah.
charges.
I'm sorry.
I said not RICO charges.
I only think I think it's
I
worse
don't
than
think it's RICO, because RICO is all financial. It's not RICO. Like it's.
It was a joke, Renee. Damn.
Oh, you know, people in the chat gonna listen to you.
Oh,
and
I'm
take-
not being serious. I'm saying, like, you know, like,
they don't have RICO in the UK, Amber.
you know, like, oh, that's so bad. Type shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Welcome
So
to my
anyway,
world. Welcome to my
I
world.
think this sets a terrible precedence. Period. Point blank. End of story. But when, not if, when will organizations over here? And I'm not talking about Tren de Alagua, the MS30. No, when are they going to start naming organizations that we know are familiar, or some of us part of? You know what I'm saying? What's to stop them from prescribing our organizations as terrorist organizations?
So
I
that's
mean,
just.
they
I mean,
definitely
they
did
did
it
it
with the
before.
IRS. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, so they're trying to deal with the IRS thing, like with saying like certain nonprofits can lose their IRS their nonprofit status and stuff like that. Like that was definitely a thing that was happening.
Mhm. And just
like
you
my
know,
job was scared about it. They were like,
and the Black Panthers would technically like, don't forget, like this is what we do here. So this is not, you know, this is not new. And if they did it here, it would just be a restart of something that they used to do. And you know, the government sent out a letter to a bunch of organizations already letting them know that there would be demands for information and questions
they did it to
about their
the indivisible people.
yeah. So they're gonna try, because that's what they do. So it's I don't know that it's gonna be any different than what they've always done. But I do think it's a sign. What is happening right now in the UK is a sign that the government is nervous because the tides are turning against Israel. Like the people are not on board with what's happening. And after they tried to like block Kneecap, and then my man Bob Villain got on stage and
Let me tell you something about Bob Villain. I said, lynch your leaders. This is a hit. This is a hit record.
And so as the population grows in their like, we got to stop this, the government has to do something to put fear into the population. So this is just another fear tactic, right? So we're going to now make it illegal, and now we're going to arrest you if you have a sign. And then what they're hoping is there will be enough people who are afraid of getting arrested that they can stop what is now like a real issue that the government is having, because the people are not in support of the government giving money and giving funds to bomb people in Palestine. And so this is really what that's all about.
I saw
Well,
a really
ladies.
good post on no.
Well, ladies, great show.
One
I'm
last
glad
thing.
that y'all came out today. I think we could come
I
back
saw a
maybe
really
and bring this
good
back
clip
on Thursday.
Instagram, Air Doctor. You gonna let me finish?
Excuse me. I was
Quick.
it's 10 o'clock.
Air Doctor,
Damn.
you hit this lady up late as hell. She got up early, an hour earlier in Central Time she can at least finish her thought. She did us a favor today. We can't hold on to 10:02 so Amber can finish her point.
Thank you. Anyways, I saw this really good Instagram reel of a girl who was at the festival who was an artist, but she talked about how people who were there were very disconnected because the cell phone signal wasn't good anyways, and everybody was super pro-Palestine. And if you were there, it wasn't like a point of contention that he was chanting. Like everybody, all the other artists did it too. And she said it was very specific that they only got on this one black artist, when all the other white artists, she showed their pictures and stuff, they had free Palestine stuff at their sets, they had flags, like everybody was doing it. And I think his chance was just better, but everybody was doing it. It wasn't like a just him thing. And she talked about how it was very racial. Like it was very specific. They were going after Bob Villain because it's this black crew versus all these other white artists.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. All right. Well, ladies, y'all brought it as
Get my
usual.
way.
Maybe we could get, excuse me?
I said, because I'm going to get my way at the end of the day. Keep going.
All right. Well, maybe we can bring this crew back Thursday since Kamal's MIA. Who knows? So with that said,
Now shit, they snatching niggas out here. We need proof of life from Camus.
yeah, I am rude. I am a rude dude.
Okay.
So with that said, Renee, we got coming up Saturday. Anything you know?
Yeah, actually, so this week we are doubling up with millennials. So we're talking about a book called How to Read Donald Duck. And we're going to start on millennials on Friday, and then we're going to finish the conversation on Saturday. So it'll be a long conversation because there's a lot, but it's a whole crew coming. So obviously Jared Weir is going to be participating, but also Ntume will be on, and also Todd Burrows will be on, and Geechee. So it'll be all of us doing the two shows.
What time for some of our new listeners?
So on millennials, you know what? You just asked a really good question. I think it's noon on millennials on Friday, and then on Saturday it'll be 11. But if folks really want to participate, you have to read the book, because that's what we'll be talking about.
All right, do your homework. And Kim, I know we got this coming up, Classical Breakdown Thursday, 11 a.m. We doing the 80s. Other than that, we'll see Amber maybe Thursday and definitely Friday for the Remix Morning Show. Y'all got to tune in Fridays for the remix to get the full-on Amber experience.
Tune in tonight for Burn It Down with Kim Brown, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to get an update on the latest of the DC 33. Is that the name of the union? Shit.
Yeah,
33, DC 33.
Yeah.
They were dropping out trash at City Hall yesterday. I said, I know that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I'm so proud of Philadelphia, for the workers of Philadelphia. And you know, I know this is a difficult time for the residents, no question about that. But I haven't seen nobody come against the workers. It'd be like, they need to just accept. No, every clip I see is, Mayor Park, you need to pay these people. You need to pay these people. So I appreciate the city standing in unison and with solidarity with the workers. So we're going to get an update on the latest of the strike. Hopefully it'll be resolved by this evening, but we'll see.
All right, tune back in with us tomorrow. We're going to have some special guests, so come back tomorrow at 8 a.m. for some more of the Remix Morning Show. Y'all have a great rest of your day. I'm late for my workout, so let me get out of here. Peace out.
Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Renee.
Yes. Y'all keep it thorough.